Tomasino, however,
Yeah, that
when
one.
I saw Phil Tomasino, I know they just acquired him in November, but why is he such a hot commodity that the Penguins want to make sure that they keep their hands on?
That one I don't know. I mean, whenever everyone discusses who are the Penguins looking for, they immediately go to it's a Phil Tomasino type. Maybe that's why they're kind of looking for the mold of castaways from their team that had pedigree and might still have it because they're young enough and youthful enough and have a ton of NHL left in them to reach again. Maybe that's sort of the pillar. That's the one they're looking at as this is the type they're looking for, and we can't lose the type. They can't lose the prototype, essentially. Here's who we're looking at. Here's who we're hunting for. We need all versions of that. Hence it was after the Cody Glass and Anthony Beauvillier additions, but those were involved in that sort of the Philip Tomasino type. That's why they've been involved with Niels Höglander and amongst other names. I think someone, I forget who, don't quote me on it, may have been Elliot Friedman, said Kirby Dach might be on their sites. Interesting. Or at least linked them to. And just those types, the castaways, that maybe because he's the prototype, that's why you don't want to lose him. As for being part of the untouchables list, that's fascinating. It really is. But if he's playing good, anyone can be on that untouchables list. Like Raquel for this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been very, don't get me wrong. I like Phil Tomasino. I like what I've seen out of Phil Tomasino since he came to the Penguins. 9 points in 20 games is not a bad look for a guy who was struggling to score with the Nashville Predators. And of those 9 points, 5 of them being goals doesn't hurt either. Not to mention the kid is 23 years old. He's a pending restricted free agent, so it's club control. So I understand why the Penguins would value him, but it's a very, very hit you in the face whenever somebody says, hey, according to my sources, the Penguins untouchable list goes Sidney Crosby, Evgeni Malkin, potential 40-goal scorer Brian Rust, and Phil Tomasino. And you're just like, oh, wait, really? Like that highly? But it makes sense. I mean, you talk about the prototype. Maybe we need to start making T-shirts, Phil, the prototype Tomasino. But he's been good for the Penguins, and it looks like maybe he's part of that group of, hey, it's Tomasino, it's McGroarty, it's Koivunen, it's Bros. It's this next layer of young forwards that the Penguins are going to task with, hey, bring us back to the light for Sidney Crosby's lean years. Bring us back to the light for the end of Crosby's career. Maybe Tomasino is the wily veteran. Maybe he's the Troy Terry of that group.
Yeah, I can also remember asking Mike Sullivan last year, like, who are there additions to this core with Karlsson now arriving? And he said that the core is more than just 3 players, really. It is more than just the Crosby, Malkin, Letang. You can add a Karlsson to that if you'd like. You can add a Brian Rust to that if you'd like. I think at the time it was before the trade deadline, so he said you can add Gensel to that sort of group. It was a growing, because he likes knowing that there's plenty of guys that make this team, the Pittsburgh Penguins. And if Tomasino is now a part of that sort of, not ironclad, considering the Gensel portion of that, but considering Tomasino can be part of that solid foundation, that's where this team wants to build off of. Again, it's those castaways are going to pick and choose pieces, almost moneyball this a little bit.
Yeah,
there's connections because I remember when Kyle got here, I think it was Elliot Friedman again, always discussing Kyle Dubas is a baseball guy too. And I believe there was connections with him and the book that came from Moneyball. So who knows? Maybe there is some Moneyball-esque stuff going on here. Like I said, those castaways that are cheaper, that are here for the analytics. And what can they do? They can get on base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, maybe the Pittsburgh Pirates need to give them a call. That way they actually do something this offseason. But make no mistake, neither of us are sitting here saying that Phil Tomasino is going to be a pillar of the future for the Pittsburgh Penguins. But in the short term, when you're looking to do that shotgun rebuild or quick retool or quick turnaround to where they can all of a sudden be the Washington Capitals, which if they make the right moves, would still probably be a year, maybe 2 away from doing. Maybe Tomasino's a guy that sticks around for a while. Maybe Tomasino's a guy that you could feel a little bit more comfortable buying his jersey. At least according to Marco D'Amico, he is untouchable and off limits